All right, first and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men of the Lord, prophesying, preaching and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, Barakathum. It's your brother Yerah. Coming back at you, man. I want to say a few words on just order and the importance of order. All right, now this is like the second time I've had to record this video, and the spirit was flowing the first time, but nevertheless, I want to say some words on it because it bears. It's no thing to do the video again because it's an important thing, man. Lord willing, brothers, especially younger brothers, are edified on the concept of order, man, because it's come up, recently this week. There's a lot of back and forth between guys who were part of camps, close to camps, who've been interacting with particular elders of different camps, and it's a lot of strife and contention, and ultimately, man, we're not in the time to have to go back and deal with something as basic and fundamental and important as order, man. So I'm gonna say a few words on it. I got some precepts lined up, but ultimately, man, we this is the worst time by far to be out of order, man. This is the worst time to have to be corrected on something as basic and elementary as order. Okay? The worst time. There's this is going to be indicative of who the Lord is dealing with and who he's not dealing with, because we're getting closer and closer to the time. So when you see guys that are stumbling over things as fundamental as order, then that's the Lord marking these guys, and I don't say this with any malice. I don't know any particular brother, personally, that's had the gripes, abuse, or anything. But I'm just speaking, man, as a man through the Spirit to the best of my ability. Lord willing that younger brothers are edified in this thing, man. As me as a younger brother myself, even I understand the importance of order, man. So even in the world, order was always something that that I admire. Even in the world, I always was apprehensive about dealing with things that looked chaotic, the things that didn't have structure to it. I very much valued that, even in the job that I'm working right now. One of the requirements of it is to have things in order and structured, and order comes easier for some brothers than it does for others, but nevertheless, it's a universally important thing to get your head around, okay, to understand. All right, and it's important. It's mandatory, okay? And I'm gonna get some precepts to kind of outline this, but I just want to premise that with saying, man, like order is a basic fundamental thing, and it's paramount to salvation, man. All right? Are there gonna be some that are gonna be saved, but on their own, doing their own thing without having it? But yes, but by and large, the majority of the elect are going to submit to some type of order, whether they're in a camp or not, man. There's an order not just within camps. There's an order even outside the camp, man. There's a larger order, and I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna just go to the first precept here. This is Isaiah 44:6. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh of hosts. I am the first and I am the last, and beside me there is no power," man. So that right there is the beginning of order, man. All right. It doesn't start with an elder or a leader of a camp. All of these things, what you got to understand is the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, any elder of any camp, that order began beyond those men. All right. The Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai has an order. There's an order in the heavens and there's an order below. That's where it starts, man. You're not just scoffing or having a problem with just men of the world. You have an issue with the order that is pervasive throughout everything, throughout the whole ministry, man. All right. Let's read verse 7. It says, and who, as I shall call and shall declare it and set in order for me. All right. It says, first in the other verse, it says, I am the last, and beside me there is no power. Meaning this, I'm up here. No, I'm the Most High. Nobody's beside me. Right. It says, and who, as I shall call and shall declare it and set in order for me. All right. So the Lord is saying he's declaring something here, right? Then he's setting up in order for him. All right. So the Lord came, and because not everything you're going to get Yahweh's not just going to speak to you directly, man. Okay. Sometimes you get a message. It's through a brother. It's through an elder, man. All right. And the Lord set it up that way. He says, in order for me, because the Lord set up hierarchies, man. We know Yahweh is the top, right? And we should know in the truth who is right below Yahweh. That's Yahweh Shai, his son, his only begotten son, all right? And we all know that we're under Yahweh Shai, man. All right? This is a very basic and rudimentary concept, man. All right? And if the Lord set it up high up, it flows all the way down, okay? Down to the realm of men and elders. And I'll get to that, how it starts from the Most High all the way down to men and elders and things like that. But these are things that you have to understand, man. All right? The Lord he's a God of order, and he's a God of diversity. Order and diversity. There are brothers that are different, have diverse talents and different things like that. And then there's also order. Okay, you see that in the animal kingdom. There's a lot of diversity of life, but there's also a food chain. Okay, it's no different in the realm of men, and especially in the ministry where he's ordained it to be the tool on which he's going to speak to the earth. All right, speak to the men and women of the earth, either to condemn them or warn them. All right. This is of the Most High, man. You got to understand that concept. All right. It says, and who, as I shall call and shall declare it and set in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people. So the Lord's been doing this since man has been on the earth, all the way going back to Adam. All right, that's what Adam was. When you go into the story of Adam in Genesis, there was a bunch of people already there. But what was Adam's story? He was chosen out of other people. What does it mean to be chosen? It means you're above them. I Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, carved you out. You're the leader. Okay. So order has been since, like it says, since I appointed the ancient people. Okay. And it's the same thing in the time of Moses, in the time of King David. All right. The Lord is not going to give every man the ability to take a staff and part the sea or get water out of a stone. He's going to choose particular men to do it. All right. Because there's an order to things. Does the Lord love the Israelites? Yes, but he loves some more than others, man. And he chose some Israelites more than others, man. Okay? And there's an order on down. Moses, in his day, he was the one that the Most High chose. All right? And even in the time of Moses, you had a particular time period where the children of Israel, we became so numerous. We had made we had multiplied so much that the Lord basically told Moses, man, look, you got to establish order, man. You can't do everything on your own, man. So Moses came up with the concept of rank, all right? Captains of tens, of hundreds, of thousands, of 10,000s. It had to be done, man, because when you have a bunch of people, all right, and you're trying to do one common thing, what was our goal back in the day in the ancient world when Moses was leading us? Our goal was to get the hell out of Egypt, go into the promised land, and take our land back. Okay, that's something that you got to get millions of people to try to do. You cannot get millions of people to perform a task without order, man. All right, and it's the same for any group, whether it's a million people or 3 people. There has to be order. All right. Let me read this again. It says, and who as I shall call and shall declare it and set it in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people, and the things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them. All right. It says, fear ye not, neither be afraid. I have told thee from that time and have declared it. Ye are even my witnesses. All right. Because back in the ancient world, you had brothers like Moses, you know, and we saw the power that the Lord gave Moses and the order. All right, you saw Moses had to deal with rebellion and Korah and that whole nonsense, and you saw men who got in line. All right, so there were witnesses to the order. Everybody saw Moses go up there into the mountain and speak to Yahweh, man. Okay, they even said, no, Moses, you speak to him before. They saw that order. They saw the Lord choose Moses, through him speak to Pharaoh, rebuke him. Okay, there were witnesses of that, man. So order is just something that brothers gotta, you can't understand it on one thing, and then when it comes to you, all of a sudden, you know, you get an excuse to not fall in line, man. All right. Y'all understand order. You do it at work. You show up on time. All right. When you got to go on vacation, you ask for permission. All right. You request days off. You do these things. You know who to go to, who for what. You do it at work. So why the hell can't you do it in the work, man? The truth. You know? It's like in my battery. So you got to get out of that emotional ass spirit, man. You know? And that's something all of us brothers, we gotta check that, man, especially as young brothers, man. All right. It says, I'm gonna move on, man. I'm gonna go over to the other one, because the other thing I want to say is, man, like, not everything is always going to be said all smooth. All right. Brothers are not going to say things the way that you want them to say things, man. Brothers have different countenances, man. Some brothers are more meek and more polite, so to speak. And then some brothers are more froward. But we all are of the same body, man. We're all speaking the same thing, the same message. That's why we're all together, man. I would not know any of these men in these camps if it wasn't for the truth. That's our commonality, is the truth to do the work. It's not personal, okay? So if a brother says something to you, man, you know, the first thing you have to do is evaluate, well, is what the brother said right or wrong? Is it objectively right or is it objectively wrong? If you come to the conclusion that what he said is right, man, there shouldn't be no more issue after that, man. Everything else is in your mind, is in your head, is you being emotional. All right. Could a brother say it nicely? Well, probably, maybe. But it's not a requirement. The requirement is, the scriptures say, warn the wicked of their evil way, man. And even in Ezekiel, it talks about making our heads adamant, man. Our forehead against their forehead. So sometimes that's what it takes, man. Especially knowing the nature of our people. We know that we're a rebellious people, man. It requires a froward speech sometimes, you know. But let me get this real quick. In Ecclesiastes 12:9, it says, and moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people, knowledge Yeah, and have good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs, man. All right. So the teacher, he went out to do the work, and he ordered his words in a way that would be wise. Okay. Salakia. Let me check this. Okay. He ordered his words in a way that would be wise, man. Those are proverbs. Proverbs are wise sayings. Okay. Now let's read on. It says the preacher sought to find out acceptable words. All right. Now some brothers will read that and say acceptable words. Those are words that make it the most acceptable to most people. No. Because you got to remember one thing. We're not trying to get everybody to accept what we're saying. We only care if the elect hears it, man, at the end of the day. But y'all might think that when it says acceptable words there, that it's talking about saying it in a way that people will accept it, sugarcoating it, in other words. No, it's not talking about that. And he's going to clarify it. It says, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. So what's acceptable are things that are written that are upright. That's what's acceptable. It's not according to how you feel about it. Okay? Are the words upright or are they not upright? That determines whether or not the speech is acceptable, man. Not his choice of words or his tone or any of that nonsense. Okay? And it goes further. It says, verse 11, the words of the wise are as goads, Goads, and as nails fastened by the masters of assembly. What's a goad? A goad is a tool or utensil, like a poker that you use to keep cattle in line, man. That's what a goad is. Farmers will use that and keep cattle in line. It says the words of the wise are as goads. All right. So sometimes the words that are coming out of the men that is wisdom, it's going to hurt. It's going to be uncomfortable. All right. But you got to realize there's two aspects to order, man. One side of it is leading, marching and vision and direction into where we're going. And the other side is keeping order. All right. And one of the main tools we use to keep order are wise words, man. Rebuke is often necessary to keep order. You can't be emotional about this thing, man. All right. And I'm saying this for you younger brothers, like the elder beloved brother in our camp, Elder Mal Lawyer. I happen to be a little bit older than him, right? But he came into the truth 10 years before I did, man. You know? So that's the Lord. He chose when that was going to happen. I'm not in control of that. I'm just happy I made it at all, man. All right? And you can't look at it in age, because the scriptures speak about being born again, man. All right? So he's been in the truth that long. That means he's up there in rank. Who am I to come in and say, well, brother, technically I'm older and I know better and this and that, man. No, man. If you're a younger brother in the truth, sometimes you just got to learn how to shut the hell up and listen, man. All right. And there are brothers that are in the camp younger than I am, right? I think I might be the oldest brother in our particular camp, younger than I am, that are above me in rank, man. That I heed to and I listen to for advice. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't supposed to feel some type of way about it, man. Because ultimately you're supposed to understand that everything being said to you is said out of love, regardless of how it feels to you personally. You know? It says the preacher sought to find out acceptable words that was written that was upright, even of truth. Oh, Salakia. I'm going to read Ecclesiastes 12 and 11 in the NLT real quick. So this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 11 in the NLT. It says the words of the wise are like cattle prods, painful but helpful. All right. It says their collected sayings are like a nail-studded stick with a shepherd, like a stick with nails on it. It drives sheep. That's what the words of the wise are sometimes, man. You know, and it just is what it is. It doesn't mean the brother is wicked or he's worthy of curses, and all this emotional bullshit back and forth that's going on, man. Stop it, man. All right. But let me keep going here, man, because this is 1 second. Let me get my charger. I just don't want my phone to die. Salakia, 1 second. All right, Salakia. But, and one of the themes that I wanted to speak on too, and I'm trying not to make this too long, but it's timing, man. Like this is the worst time to get weak, to get emotional, to start questioning basic fundamental things like order. All right. And I'm going to get this in 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter, because it outlines it pretty damn good. All right. That brothers that don't understand these things and what time we're in, man, listen, you're playing with fire, man. Like I said, if you got a gripe and it's that tough for you to get around the things that were said or to forgive and just move on and do the work, man. That's the best thing I could tell you to do. But this is 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter. I'm going to start at verse 11. It says, "For the world is divided into 12 parts, and 10 parts of it are gone already, and a half of a 10th part." Now, just to break down for you brothers what that 12 parts is, though, that 12 parts that Ezra is talking about here are 12,000 year periods going back to the beginning of creation. That includes those 6 days, 7 days of creation from the time of Adam, all right, all the way to the time we're in today. So it says 10 parts of it are gone already, and a half of a 10th part. So 10 and a half parts are already gone up. Now, when Esdras lived, he basically lived 500 BC. So that was around the time of the Babylonian Empire. All right. So 10 and a half parts, meaning he lived 500 BC. And so that's how we know that we're in the 12th part now, man, or at the end of the 12th part, because we know that was 2,500 years ago. All right. And we know that Esdras very shortly, well, around this time of chapter 14, he's speaking about the very end of the world, man. He's telling you that it's 12 parts. So that gives you in context of what time it is. All right. This is the end. That means no time for bullshit. All right. It says, "And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part." All right. So this is talking about after 500 BC, all the way into the time that we're in now. All right. It says, "Now, therefore, set thine house in order and reprove thy people." He's telling Esdras this, man. 2,500 years ago, he's telling Esdras this, man. Get it together. Get in order. Reprove your people. Whatever you got to tell them to do, tell them, because this is the time, okay? All right. It says, "Comfort such of them as be in trouble and renounce corruption." So you praise the men that are good, all right, or that need help. And then you renounce the ones that are going off and being wicked, man. But the theme of it says, "Now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people," man. So how much more so today? It says, "Let go from thee mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of men. Put off now the weak nature." And getting emotional over the choice of words is weak as hell, man. That's that mortal nature. All right. It says, put that shit off, man. Because going around about how brother said this and how he said that, and you know, y'all rooting for our downfall, and it ain't that serious. That's a very weak thing to even be focusing on right now, to be honest with you. Those are mortal thoughts. Your thoughts are supposed to be with what's getting ready to happen in the world, man. That should be much more of a, let me just keep reading, man. It says, verse 15, it says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times, man. So the things that are heavy in your mind, personally, you just got to dead that, man, in your mind. Why is the Lord telling Ezra this? Because it's also manifold for the spirit that we need to be in. Why? Because the times that we're in are very, very, very dangerous, man. Very. And the last thing you need in any type of organized group is confusion and disorder. It says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter, man. So your mind should be on focusing on the charagma, the great wrath that we know is getting ready to come. But here we are. We can spend an hour, 2 hours going in back and forth about how our brother did this and did that, and it's weak as hell, man. And ultimately, if that's how you feel, man, just move on. Do the work and move on, man. You know. So I'm going through this to break down the time that we're in and how we really don't have time for this bullshit. We really don't. All right. Now, I'm going to go back real quick. Last precept. This is the book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 5. This goes into the qualification of elders. All right. It says, for this cause I left thee in Crete, which is an island off the coast of Greece. All right. It says that thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city as I had appointed thee. All right. So now you see that even way back then there were order was being set up, man. And that's through elders, and that's through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahawashi. Why? Because the spirit came down through who first? Yahawashi. He opened the book. He broke down the truth. He gave it to the 12. The 12 broke off to 72. And you had various other men come into the fold, man. Cornelius, Timothy, Titus. All right. And because those men were sensitive enough to the truth, they became the elders, man. They had enough spirit in them to go out and not only receive it and digest the whole thing, but to love their people enough to go out there and teach. Even in the threat of danger. Remember, a lot of the apostles got put to death, man. All right. So there had to be order. Okay. This was a body that was moving. All right. And those men that the Lord came to first, or gave the knowledge and truth to first, they were set up. And so anytime you get a large group of men, like it says in Acts, 3,000 souls were saved at one time, man. You think you can have 3,000 jakes come into the truth at one time and there not be any type of order? All right. And it's not going to be the jakes that just came in that are going to have the high rank. It's going to be the men that taught them the truth. That's how it works. It flows down. Peter at the head of the church, he's talking to James and Paul, and they're disseminating and they're setting up order, man. And it cascades down. That's how it works. The elders and apostles, they're one of the first ones on this side after Abba Bivens, you know, who we believe is John the Baptist. After him, they were the early apostles, man. So it only makes sense that they disseminate and set up camps. You know, they disseminate orders. There's a brother over Baltimore. There's a brother over Cali and LA. There's a brother over Chicago, Dallas, you know, Miami, Atlanta, Kansas City, you know. But who did the Lord come to first and disseminate and break down this truth? It was the elders and apostles, man. All right. So it says, if any be blameless, the husband of one wife, having faithful children, not accused of riot or unruly. All right. So that shows you that there is a standard of how elders behave, man. You can't just be the leader of a camp at Great Millstone and just be a nigga, man. All right. There is a standard, you know. And if it's one thing I can say about Great Millstone that makes them special, man, is that they very much value order. All right. If it's one thing that'll get you put out is trying to subvert order, man, because that's very critical. All right. Guys that are doing that, you end up just getting out of there, man. Because if there's no order, there's basically no point in having a camp. You know, there literally is no point of having a camp if there's no order. It's just a bunch of men. Most of us, all of us alphas. You put a bunch of, like Elder Ariala said from Dallas, you put a bunch of alphas in a room, man, with no rank, no order, no protocol. It's gonna be chaos, man. It's gonna be alphas trying to tell alphas what to do. And the Lord is not the author of confusion, man. All right. But it tells you right here, faithful children not accused of riot or unruly. All right. Now you can make the accusations, but the Spirit bears witness, man. I've been around these brothers, man. All right. I've been around them to know that their spirit. Not everybody that speaks frowardly is speaking, out of pride or anger, man. You know. It says, for a bishop must be blameless as the steward of the Most High, not self-willed, not soon angry, not given to wine, nor striker, not given to filthy lucre, man. And I've been around these men, man. I've been around us in the camp setting at church. I've been around them outside of that. I've seen their behavior both in the spirit of doing the work on the highways and byways, and I've seen their spirit around brothers, other men in the truth, and I've seen their spirit around other heathen, man. These men check all of these boxes. All right. So you can levy the accusation, but ultimately, man, the standard of Great Millstone is extremely high, man. They don't even we don't even tolerate men who are just getting comfortable sitting on their hands, let alone being an elder, man, and doing all of this, you know. It says, but a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, and temperate, man. And all of these things, the brothers have it, man. You know, now is every brother perfect? No. Is every brother gonna keep every iota of the truth to the T all the time, every single time? No. But by and large, these are men that are committed to exhibiting these behaviors, man. I've seen brothers be hospitable, all right? How they treat other brothers coming in from out of town, man. Very charitable, man. Making sure brothers are good, they're straight. Very humble, low, and meek spirit, you know. It says, holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers, man. All right. And that word exhort, it goes into, I'm gonna get it real quick. Parakaleo, exhort, call to one side, call for summon, to admonish, exhort, man. So there's going to be times when brothers are getting uplifted. There's going to be times when if you go off, you get admonished, man. All right. That's part of the job, man. You know, so, you know, I think I've said enough on the matter, you know, but, you know, brothers, especially younger brothers in the faith, that maybe you're watching videos or you're on the other side of the line in a different camp, man. Whatever the case may be, the concept of order, you know, it cannot be understated, man. Overstated. Salakia. You know, because if we don't have order, we don't have a body, man. You're not, what makes a body a body? A body is not just a blob, all right? It's not just a bunch of cells. No, the cells in your body are organized. You got bone, you got organ tissue, you got skin, you got eyes. They're all organized. What does organized mean? Order, man. It's not just a bunch of cells and carbon and, you know, that's how you have to think of it when we're a body, man, you know? It's a very fundamental thing, man. And ultimately, if you guys continue to be emotional in the time that we're in, the Lord is just going to reject you, man. All right. If you're in the spirit right now being emotional, you're not going to be able to handle the times that's getting ready to come. Okay. So I'll end it there, man. Hopefully you brothers were edified. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rachal Quadash Wa Abba B'Bal and Shalom.